Welcome back. Continuing our focus on the postponed or rescheduled elections, if you will. We're joined now via phone today by Mr. Tunji Shelle, who is the chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Let's get your perspective on this matter, because, I mean, you have many who have said this was orchestrated, and yes, although they've accepted it, they're moving on, but the implication is what they just fear will not go awry. What do you think of the entire scenario?
Well, I hope I heard you very well. Thank you very much, Chamberlain. National interest comes first in this issue. We shouldn't just go into an election for election's sake. We want to ensure that things are done properly. We should ensure that the card readers are there. We should ensure that the PVCs are evenly distributed and everybody has gotten his own. For example, in the north, about 85% of the people in the north have collected their PVCs. About 50 in the south. There is no equity in this. So INEC has to address and adjust all this. Going to election where there is insecurity in the northeast, as it were today, would not help matters. People can raise issues at the end of the day that a particular section of the country is disenfranchised. And this was informed the advice of the National Security Advisor. It's not that PDP influenced the shifting of the date. It's the National Security Advisor who must have based his judgment on intelligence reports that there is likely to be crisis. And he raised the issue. We should be able to accept, shift the date and see that things are done properly. It will not be in the interest of the nation for us to go to an election and at the end of the day, some people are unable to vote. It will not be in the interest of the nation and at the end of the day, the country is thrown into turmoil and people are fighting, there is violence and what have you. But if we take our time, as advised by the National Security Advisor, and also when the elder statesmen came together to think about it, called the INEC chairman to come and listen and make an input. It's fair enough for everybody. This is as a setback for democracy. Maybe the setback is for them because they had already influenced the electioneering process. I don't think this one has added advantage for any party. It is a way out of getting out of trouble.
Well, anyway, I think your own reasons given now isn't the same that the security agencies have given. Specifically, they said, well, we cannot guarantee security. So how does that affect what INEC has done so far?
Well, INEC realized that there is not enough security in the northeast. Many people would not be ready to serve as returning officers or electoral officers in that region, as it were today. And it is believed that certain actions will be taken between now and the next few weeks that may change the trend in that region. And this is a belief of those people who have changed the timing for another 6 weeks. Because they want to meet the constitutional provision of 30 days before the swearing in. That's why probably could have been even postponed further, because I don't see INEC itself being ready for this exercise.
Well, deep down in your heart, do you think that the Nigerian military, as it is now, can fix this in 6 weeks?
Well, they must have gone back to the tactical table. They must have gone back to the drawing board. Probably they want to do things differently now. I believe they are trying to reduce collateral damages, because the military of Nigeria that I know will sweep over that place in a very short while. But because they wanted to reduce collateral damages, they don't want women to die, they don't want children to die, innocent citizens to die. They were out for the Boko Haram and not the ordinary citizens. But there could be an arrangement now in place with some sophisticated weapons that have been brought in for the military. I believe they can do it, but the time determine is what I cannot determine.
Well, as a political leader, what form of tactic do you think the military would need this time, knowing full well that twice they've had emergencies declared in those 3 states, and well, the amount of resort Nigerians needed was never gotten?
Can you come again, please?
Twice they've had state of emergency declared in 3 states, and the military couldn't fix it. So one wonders what they can do now in 6 weeks.
I've already told you that they were avoiding collateral damages, killing of children, killing of women that are innocent. Now they will have separated certain, designated certain areas, try to redistribute the population so that areas that they will strike, the Boko Haram will be reduced to, their strength will be reduced to minimum before the election time. That's why I said I can't determine. I will have preferred that election is postponed further than 6 weeks, but because there is constitutional provision that 6 weeks, we should do the election within 6 weeks. That's why. Let's hope, let's pray, and let's believe that the military has what it takes to comb and ensure that there is peace in that region before the time of the election.
Mr. Shelle, what if that doesn't happen in 6 weeks?
What?
What if that doesn't happen in 6 weeks?
Well, that one will be left for posterity to judge, because as of today, like I told you, I don't want us to rush into this election. That's a personal opinion. And somebody will say it's a PDP opinion. No, it's not PDP opinion. That's the reality on ground. We can't be experimenting. Warfare is not a game of Ludo or a game of a draft. It goes beyond that. You have to be prepared. You have to do your own work. You have to know your terrain better. You have to ensure that you don't do damages where there's no need for it. And you have to be fully equipped. I'm sure the equipment have arrived. The manpower is there. And I believe the difference will be clear between now and 6 weeks.
What do you think about those who say that they're not exactly convinced about the reason adduced? Because, I mean, in the first place, if the Office of the National Security Advisor spoke about the collection of PVC as a reason for suggesting the postponement of the elections in London, and then only a couple of days or 2 days before the National Council of State meeting hands INEC security advisory. So that's the reason why some think, no, wait a minute, it looks as though it's orchestrated. And so INEC, as they say also, being boxed to a corner to ensure that this shift happens.
I believe the National Security Advisor must have added PVC and card readers in addition to security situation in the Northeast. He must have dwelt more on security issues than INEC issues. INEC issues too can result into insecurity, because if the PVCs are not there, if the card readers are not ready, if the logistics are not there, it could result into security matters. So everything boils down to insecurity at the end of the day. And that's what the National Security Advisor saw ahead of everybody, and how to raise the issue so that we could discuss it, debate it, because we are in democracy. That's why all this discussion is coming in up. Otherwise, somebody will have done the election and then we have cause to regret it. And that is not talking about national interest. It's talking about just doing election for election's sake.
Shouldn't, well, in a situation like this, if you were in charge and your security chief comes to tell you just a couple of days to an election that they can't guarantee security, what should you do?
Well, all of us are aware of the situation on ground. It's not that somebody is coming to tell me. Actually, that's the reality on ground. INEC is not fully prepared, and the security situation in the...
No, I mean, if someone comes just before the election date, a moment here, just let me come in. If someone comes just...
Nobody is playing any game here, except those people who want to this country to burn. Those people who want us to do the election for the purpose of elections alone. not minding the national interest or the implications of the actions.